After making over 1 billion naira in sales, which is around, let's say, 700,000 or $1 million right now, I've decided to share with you 5 books every person who wants to make this amount of money or even more must read, especially if you're in your 20s right now and you're just starting a business, or you're running your business and you want to scale to that particular level. Now let's get into it. These 5 books covers 5 different pillars that I feel has helped me destroy every financial milestone I've had so far in my journey. Now these 5 pillars are mindset, skill development and mastery, sales, volume and distribution, and also consistency. So I'm going to be recommending books in each and every of these departments that I feel you must read if you want to really scale your business and make a lot of money for yourself. So let's talk about mindset first. Now, for you to make a lot of money, you need to first believe that you can make that particular amount of money. Because if you don't believe you can make that amount of money, there's no way you're going to get there. So first, it starts with your belief, and your belief has to do with what you're thinking in your mind. It has to do with your mindset. So the first book I'm going to recommend today is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, this book shares a lot of lessons on exactly how you can arrange your thinking. You can organize your mind in such a way whereby it starts to see value in every single thing you're doing. You start to understand the concept of what it means to be a valuable person, because in order for you to attract money and make a lot of money for yourself, you need to change your identity. So Think and Grow Rich is going to be a massive one for you. It's a very good book for people who are total beginners, and it can really change your life as well. So one bonus one I'm going to give you is The Rich Man in Babylon. I read this one on the side and it just made a lot of sense to me. Now the second pillar I talked about is everything about skill development and mastery. You know, if you want to make a lot of money from one particular thing, you need to get extremely good at it. So every single time you have to be thinking about, how can I get better? How can I make my skill good? How can I increase the level of value I'm giving to people so that you can increase the amount of money you can make? Because the larger you charge, the easier it is for you to make more money for yourself. And the better your skill, the more confident you are to charge that amount of money. So every book around skill development and mastery is going to really help you. But my best recommendations are books like Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, the reason why it is not a book that specifically talks about a skill is because for you to create a skill, or for you to learn a skill, you need to build a habit. It only turns to a skill when you can do it without necessarily thinking about it too much. So building a habit around anything is what is going to help you create that skill. So for instance, if you want to ride a bicycle today, someone who is skilled at riding a bike knows exactly where to put his leg, knows exactly when to brake, when to paddle, when to do whatever he wants to do. But a different person who doesn't have that skill has to think about every single action that he has to take. He has to know, okay, I have to hold the bike this way, I have to put my legs this way. You don't want that. But if you now have an habit of doing that particular thing over and over again, it turns into a skill. So that's the reason why I'm recommending Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, another thing you now have to master is also the psychology of money. And that's why I'm going to have this as a bonus. Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. I think it's Housal. You can go ahead and check that book as well. It's going to help you know what you should be expecting when you're thinking about making money in general. That's another one. Now, the next thing you need to understand very well if you want to make a lot of money is sales. Because like I told you, all money is made through selling one way or the other. Selling can be in different contexts. You can be selling yourself as an individual, you can be selling a product, or you can be selling a service. So selling is always done. So you mastering sales is always going to increase your chances of you making a lot of money, no matter what it is you're doing right now. So the book I'm going to recommend here is Show Your Work by Austin Kleon, because there are a lot of people who know how to do things very well, but they don't know how to sell it to anybody. They don't know how to show their work. So that's the reason why I really love this book, because it shows a way that you can put your work out there without actually you having that feeling that you're not good enough, right? You need to understand that book. Now, there's also another book. I'm going to leave 2 books in this category. There's also another book called Sell Like Crazy by Sabri Subi. This is a really interesting book because it just teaches you how to create what is called a funnel. I don't want to go too in-depth in this particular video, but when I say funnel, I just simply mean a step-by-step process on how to get somebody from just seeing your product to becoming a customer, but this time doing it online or whatever. So you should check out that book, Sell Like Crazy by Sabri Subi. It's an amazing book. It's an amazing masterpiece, in fact. You can go through that particular book and understand the whole sales process that you need to understand. This is totally going to increase the amount of sales you're going to make. And just for bonuses, if you're a Nigerian, I'm going to tell you to buy this particular book, How to Sell to Nigerians, by my mentor, Akinlami. Alright, it's an amazing book teaching you specifically how to sell to Nigeria. It's just a step by step. I think it's about 12 chapters and it literally explains everything you need to know about selling to Nigeria. Now, the first one, just a recap, the first one we talked about was mindset. The next thing we talked about was skill development and mastery. We also talked about sales, and now we're going to talk about the fourth pillar, which is volume and distribution. Now, when you get good at something and you can successfully offer it to people, the next question you need to ask yourself, or the next question that is going to help you increase how much you're going to make, is how can I distribute this skill, or how can I distribute this product and get as many people as possible to buy? And that's the difference between a billionaire and a millionaire. A billionaire is just a millionaire doing things at 1,000 times the scale that an average millionaire is doing it. So it is super important that you know how to distribute your product properly. You know how to penetrate markets. You know how to reach places where a lot of competitors are not going to. You know how to go to where your audiences are. So volume and distribution is extremely important. So the book I have here is called Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson, and also Expert Secret by Russell Brunson. Like, this is literally going to give you a guide on how to sell online, basically, how to penetrate audiences, how to do basically everything you need to do online to make a lot of money for yourself. Now, the last pillar is consistency and staying power. I've seen it so many times that a lot of people start something and they just end up not doing it the way they should do it because they give up too early. You don't stay long enough to get that result. I'm not even going to recommend any book in this category. Any book that is going to teach you how to be persistent, how to be consistent, is good. So it is super important that you learn how to stay in a particular business, because this whole concept was what brought about the shining object syndrome, where a lot of people are going to start one particular business today and go to do this business, and end up getting zero results from all the businesses. So once you understand what it means to stay in a particular business, once you understand what it means to be persistent, to be consistent, you're going to experience results. Because the way business goes is, it's quite funny, because you start a business today and you make 0, you make 10, you make 0, you make 10, you make 0, you make 10. And if you stay long enough, you get to reach that particular day where you just make 10,000. And you just experience exponential results that you never imagined. In fact, at that particular point, your only problem is, how exactly can I handle all these orders? And that can only happen when you've stayed and when you have mastered that particular skill or that particular craft. So ladies and gentlemen, you have it right there. 5 books that helped me make $1 billion in sales. Of course, there are other things that help me make $1 billion in sales, but this is the basic foundation that can literally help you make a lot of money for yourself.